Hey folks, Chris Mackey here with UT Extension in Unicoi County. Again, I'm here with my buddy Jacob Boone, who's in Hancock County, and this is the third and final video of our mini-series for sheep and goat management tips. Today we're probably going to talk about one of the most underutilized management techniques when it comes to managing our flocks from a nutritional and health standpoint. We're going to body condition score some of our ewe flocks. So basically, body condition score is taking a visual appraisal of the animal and giving them a score anywhere from a 1 to a 5, depending on the amount of exterior fat on the body, the amount of muscling shape that ewe possesses as well. So there's a couple different things that go into determining the number score that we give them. Again, the scale goes from a 1 to a 5. Some people do like cattle and do a 1 to a 9, with 3 or 5 being the minimum, or being the middle point. I personally, for my flock, use a 1 to 5 scale, with a 3 being in the middle. So a 1 is extremely emaciated, very thin. You can see ribs, backbone, hip bone, and very minimal amount of muscle shape as well. On the opposite hand, you've got a 5. Those are very bloomy, very fleshy sheep that really could stand to be like me and be on a diet. So I do have a couple of visual differences in this flock, and that you should at least do this a couple times a year. One, after lambing, and then 2, right before breeding season as well. With breeding season quickly coming upon us, it's very basically a month to 3 months, depending on when you're wanting to lamb. You really want these sheep to at least be in a 3 when it comes time to breeding. That's about a good base average. And I've got a good representative of a 3 here somewhere-ish. She's probably pushing more of a 4. Come here, girl. So this sheep here, I'm actually probably going to call her a 3. You can see there's still a little bit of an indentation right here over her loin edge, right in through here. You can't really see her hip bones or out going to her dock, and her rib cage is not even visible as well. So I would put her as a 3 in an easy. So depending on how much fat you have in those particular areas will either increase or decrease your score. Now I've got one ewe in here that's definitely thinner than she is. This speckled face sheep. You can definitely see a lot more indentation over her loin. Her ribs or her hip bone is a lot more prominent here. You can kind of see she's very peaked over her rack and her top line as well. I would definitely put her in the category of a 2. So she's not been weaned very long. That's why she's in this body condition score. And naturally, when sheep are coming out of lactation and after weaning, we would expect these sheep to be a lot thinner than those that probably have been weaned for a little while longer. So when sheep come out of weaning, hopefully they're only around a score of about a 2. And if you're really kind of uncertain of how to assign a score, Virginia Tech, Dr. Griner's publication, Ewe Body Condition Scoring, has a really good visual on how to score these sheep. Now, this is from an exterior portion, but you can kind of see the difference in the pictures as well. One being very, very thin, very little amount of muscling as well, all the way down to a fat little roly-poly down here at number 5. So that's a good scale that you can kind of use when you're thinking about body condition scoring your sheep. So again, when it comes time to breeding, we want these things at least a 3, because if they're anything less than that, they're trying to put more of their nutrition and their intake into maintaining themselves. In terms of maintenance, a 2 is acceptable, but when it comes time to breeding, we really need to have these sheep with some bloom on them and some cover, and around a 3. When it comes time to lambing, we need those at least at a 3 or even higher, definitely. Because what's going to happen is, as soon as she lets down with those sheep and those baby lambs start to nurse, she's going to use more of those reserves that she's had to producing milk for her young. So her energy reserves are going to come from her body, through her milk, and into her lambs. So that's a very simple tool that you can use, and it really needs to be done when there is a short fleece on as well. It's really hard when you've got 3 or 4 inches of wool to truly estimate body condition, and sheep. Now, you can palpate these sheep and have a probe, but that's not very economical. So what we say is go ahead and shear your sheep out, and as soon as you do your shearing, get a body condition score. Maybe she needs a little bit better care, maybe a little more nutrition, and increase her body condition, or maybe she needs to be put on a diet, or maybe doesn't need quite the nutrition of some of our other contemporaries. So again, do your body condition at breeding, and then also right before lambing as well. That way it kind of helps manage your sheep a little bit better, or even your goats. Goats are the exact same way. I say sheep because that's what we have here, but goats use the exact same scale, a 1 to a 5 or a 1 to a 9. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact myself at the Unicoi County Extension Office or Jacob Boone in the Hancock County Extension Office. Thanks for joining in on this series, and we'll see you next time.